Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. Hello everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for American Horror Story Freak Show, Season 4, Episode 2, Massacres and Matinees, as much as I keep wanting to call that Manatees. I'm your host, Dom.
Manatees!
Now I cannot unsee it.
It is in Florida. SeaWorld and all that.
I'm your host, Dom, and with me, my co-hosts, Heather.
Hey.
Omikins.
Hi.
And Mike.
Hi.
I don't know why, but I noticed every time I announce the hosts, I get less enthusiastic as I go through. By the time I'm on the last one, I'm just like, yeah, that's whoever.
And it changes every week.
It does. It's not. I'm not picking one person in particular. It's just whoever's last. I'm just like disgusted at that point. So like, yeah, whoever's down there. So.
So I go in a progression. I start strong, lose interest, and then I catch myself and bump myself back up for the last person. So whoever's in the middle is fucked with me.
As you can see, we're running our own freak show here. So, what were your guys' opinions on this episode after the very slow opener?
More murder clown.
Yay!
And then more murder clown than I ever wanted to see.
And then
Blood
just a little more murder clown.
Then more murder clown.
Yeah.
Yay, murder clown.
And murder clown version 2.
Pretty much this whole episode was jam-packed.
With murder clown.
Yeah, I mean, we said that last week, that the first episode had to establish itself, because it's a new season, a whole new premise, new story. And now they've established themselves, so the episodes were going to be better, and this episode was better, in my opinion.
Yeah. What do you think, Panda Bear down there?
I like Twisty. I think I could be a really good friend with Twisty.
Oh.
And then you'll have scissors.
I'm just going to start calling you Dandy from now on.
Dandy's a dick.
Yeah.
When we get to a certain point in this episode, we have to talk about how people in the 50s were stupid. I mean, last episode, I think I said that. People in the 50s were dumb. And now this episode, Mr. Hanley? Mr. Hanley? And then, you know, here's a little robot trailing blood behind it. He follows the blood trail slowly. No, I'd have gotten the fuck out of there and got a cop.
Sure, I'd be gone.
Dude, like, I don't know. That's the premise to every horror movie ever, though. Like, oh, what was that? Somebody's knocking on that wall way over there. I know there's a serial killing, murdering fuck in this house, but I'm gonna walk over there and see what's in the dark corner.
Oh my god, there's a serial killer, a supernatural being that's gonna hunt us down and gut us in our sleep. Let's have sex!
Exactly! Like, go watch any of the old, like, Jason movies or Freddy movies, and there's at least, like, 5 sex scenes in every movie. And I'm sitting here like, your friends are all dying. You know your friends are... And you're over there having sex?
I may have missed the part where there was sex in this episode.
There wasn't. It's just the idea of 50s and people being dumb in slasher movies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lady with 3 boobs is enough sex for me. I'm pretty sure that kind of... It's connected,
you know
right?
What? Yeah. You know what? No, there were ideas and there were innuendos of sex being talked about. We didn't see sex, but remember when the guy was on top of the 3-titty lady?
And she said 3 titties and both lady and dangly parts.
So, guess the fuck what?
Yeah, Mr. Dingling.
There was sex in this episode.
There
you might
was
not have
sex.
seen it on screen, but there was sex. So,
I don't know. But that opening murder that you guys were talking about with Twisty, I thought that was very classic horror movie. Right? There's that urban legend that goes around with that clown that, you know, is in somebody's house and they think it's a clown puppet sitting in a chair. I think they actually made a movie out of that too, but it was an urban legend way before it was in a movie. and it ended up not being a doll. It ended up being a real person dressed as a clown sitting in the house waiting to, like, murder people. And I kind of got that vibe off Twisty acting as the mannequin at the beginning of the episode. And, like, you see two other mannequin clowns sitting next to him, obviously selling some kind of costume for... It looks like Halloween is coming up, so... That's the impression I got, anyway. Is they had a couple decorations and various things in the background. So I think they're going to tie Halloween in this season.
Oh, yeah.
Next episode's supposed to be that.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure. Because you see kids running around in the preview. Kids are running around in costumes. There's Twisty beside a tree. He's like, ah!
Okay, see, I missed the preview, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Preview was Halloween, so... We're going to get Halloween next episode.
There we go. See, without even seeing the preview, I was able to catch the little hints that they dangled in front of us within the episode. So, yeah, poor Mr. Hanley though. That severed head just sitting on the shelf like that, dripping blood. I want to know what triggered that wind-up toy to just like walk at that precise moment.
Maybe Twisty set it up and then got into position as fake mannequin.
Maybe.
Could be, but I didn't hear the toy making very much noise, so...
True. I don't know. All I know is that kid was an idiot.
Indeed.
For many reasons.
So he was the first murder that we saw this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But then shortly after that, we're introduced to Del Toledo, the strongman, and his wife, as you mentioned, Desiree.
She's amazing. I'm sorry. She was hilarious.
The three-breasted hermaphrodite.
3 boobs and both lower bits.
Yeah.
Both sets of plumbing.
What were your guys' opinions on these two new characters?
They introduce... Yeah. I don't know.
I like them. I liked how the strong man is pushing Elsa's buttons and trying to take over the show, and it's causing that kind of like dynamic of, you know,
drama.
Yeah.
It's drama, rival. You know, it's just, you know, they're not gonna get along, and then Desiree, she's just awesome. Come on.
Yeah, and I love how cocky he is about his fucking wife. Like, he's just like, if you had that, you wouldn't be complaining either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In the flashbacks that we saw, they kind of hinted at the fact that Jimmy is Del's son.
He is.
But they didn't come out right and say it.
No.
No, they didn't come out right and say it. Either his son or not his son. She cheated on him and there was a baby as a product of it.
He said it was something that was an accident. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it was on his part or if it was on somebody else's part.
Right, exactly. So this could be why he holds the child with such...
But if it is his son, definitely inherited his temper.
Yes.
You know, very much so, you're right. Huh. Strong man with a temper. I mean, yeah, who hasn't seen that?
Yeah, it's a little frightening.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get this curfew to come in now due to the Twisty Clown murders that they're not aware is Twisty the Clown at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sheriff goes missing, which obviously we saw last episode, and they did a pretty piss-poor job of cleaning that up and had to re-clean up their mess this episode. But then we see like this power struggle going on with Del Toro and the rest of the freak shows, Elsa especially, where he wants to, because of the curfew, he wants to do the show in the afternoon, have a early matinee. You know, he's going around putting flyers up. He's getting into a fight with all the rest of the freaks because they're out in public trying to eat at the diner when he feels that that's taking away from the mystery of the freak show. And he wants them to stay back at camp, you know, not eat there or whatever.
Why give them a preview of the freak show? They're getting the freak show while they eat. Why do they have to pay to come see it now?
Right. So, do you guys agree with Del on some parts here?
On a business standpoint,
Yes.
yes.
I mean, give me a little less of a dick about it.
Exactly. But I think he, as from a business standpoint, like Mike said, matinees is good if there's a curfew. You're not going to get any business if there's a curfew because people are going to get swooped up by the cops and get thrown in tanks or, get sent home. The flyers, yeah, you need advertisement, and they shouldn't have been out to the diner because, yes, you don't need to pay for the freak show if it's sitting right in front of you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
I mean,
then... Go ahead.
I was just going to say the whole point of the freak show is to see the freaks. It's not like they're... Other than... What's her name? I'm so bad with names. I think we all know this. Two-headed lady.
Oh. Bet and Dot.
Yeah.
There you go. Other than them, they don't really do anything on stage. They're freaks. They just come out and wave their lobster claws and dance around on their hands because they have no legs for a few minutes and then go off and do their next thing, There's no entertainment other than watching it and seeing it.
And then, I got to pull this up from Jimmy's point of view. We're people just like everybody else. So what happened? They were born with a genetic deformity. Whoop-de-doo. They're still human. They are not monsters. They are not otherworldly. They are not alien. They are still people.
They are.
Just like everybody else. Some of them may have mental impairments, but yeah.
Normal people have mental impairments as well. And they're not in the freak show.
Right.
I mean, look at Dandy.
Exactly.
Yeah, look at Dandy. He's mentally impaired.
Yeah. I mean, he wants to be in the freak show, and they're like, nah, you don't look like a freak. You can't be a part of us.
I mean, until that episode, we didn't see his quirk. And, I mean, his quirk, man. I was like, what the fuck?
He's a budding serial killer.
I know, I was like, what the fuck?
He's also an entitled little shit.
He's an entitled little shit. And he's a budding serial killer. He killed and maimed dismembered the neighbor's cat.
The glass bottle. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's like, he has whiskey and he's like, really?
I don't...
I don't even know.
I don't have words for him. I don't. But going back to Jimmy for a second. If... that's the case. If you really want to be a normal individual, you can't compromise your profession. Your profession is the freak show, right? If you don't want to be part of the freak show anymore, go out in public, get a real job, and go eat at the diner. But you know that this is your job, and you're billing yourself as a freak. And if you want to continue doing this, you can't compromise that.
Right.
So... he's caught somewhere in the middle. He needs to pick a side. I think that's his problem.
Well, he's still young, and he hasn't I mean, I'm assuming he didn't get, an education, and there's, the social element missing, so he doesn't understand that he can't just go out and be a part of normal society. So he's kind of got that innocence in the back of his head, telling him, oh, it's going to be okay. I mean, you are normal, you whatever, but people don't see it that way.
I mean, he even mentions, at the beginning when he's digging up the cop, he goes, I know what it's like to grow up without a father, because he's like, what if this person had kids and stuff like that, and, he kind of wants to set it right to a degree. What do you think his reaction is going to be when he finds out that Del Toro is or Toledo, is it, Del Toledo is his father?
I don't know how that's going to go over.
I think
they've already had some, bad, times getting to, connecting and stuff. They don't like each other. So once Jimmy finds out, he's gonna be super mad.
Yeah, big fist fight in the middle, outside the diner. He literally got dragged off the bar stool and beaten to a pulp. Yeah. And then he goes back and he's drinking for the very first time. That fight led him to drink. So
yeah,
we know that he's already devastated by that. I can't wait to see how it plays out when he finds out for sure.
It should. I think it'll be nice because it'll add another angsty kind of just an angsty fight between characters, because there's obviously a couple of those brewing.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw the other one that brewing because of somebody's certain interest on somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get to that in a
Yeah.
minute. But then we have like he's rubbing Dell's rubbing everybody the wrong way. It's not just Jimmy. Like it's pretty much all the performers of the freak show. And you know, at first Elsa, she's fine with it. She's not. I can't say she's fine with it, but she allows it. She's willing to give it a try. She says.
Like you know, things are bad right now, so let's give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen?
She's set in her ways, and you know it takes a little bit. She got literally strong-armed, pun intended, out of her her habits, her rituals, and she's willing to try, you know, some new things. So until that is, she sees the billing that puts her at the very bottom of the page with the geek.
Elsa Mars and the geek.
And she just goes, he's got to go.
He's got to go.
Like, really?
That made me giggle. The whole thing, like, you know, look where he's billing you. Oh, he's so dead. Like,
he's got to go.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, it's an interesting and much needed power struggle that's going on right now, because we need something interesting going on with the freak show, something to give it conflict, to make it an interesting show. And I think he's doing just that. He's playing the part of the villain when Twisty is obviously the bigger villain. Whoa.
Yeah.
What do you think's gonna happen if these two meet up?
Boom.
Either Twisty's gonna get his head reversed, or Del Toledo Oro, or whatever his name is there.
Del Toledo Oro.
Well, you keep calling him Del Toro, so I'm combining it.
Del
That
Toledo.
one guy with the weird
Del.
name.
It's D-E-L. Del.
Torito.
There you go.
Anyway, he's gonna wind up with scissors sticking out of him somewhere, or worse. But yeah. How about when he reversed that guy's head? That was a good one. Anyway, I don't know.
He is a strong man. He can do anything. I mean, that's the only thing we saw with the whole strongman thing coming on. He just
otherwise
he's just
he's a really jacked, a built guy.
He looks really big. We haven't seen any really, recent feats of strength. Like he hasn't like lifted anything that's like super heavy or anything like that. So
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, as it stands right now, it's kind of like all bark, no bite. Nobody wants to test to see if he really is this strong man, because if he is, holy fuck, they're screwed. But so they're taking his word for it. But he could be a complete fraud.
He could.
Yeah, he could be. You're right.
Or he's not a fraud, but he could be washed up.
Yeah.
He does seem like he's a washed up.
Which, you know what? If you look at the way that he kind of like takes a free ride off of his wife's abilities and the way that she pulls in people, because I mean, he was sitting there, giving her props, hey, look what she can do. You would be amazed at the shit she can do. He's really pushing the envelope for his wife, but isn't saying anything about himself. And it almost appears that it's the free ride. She'll get the money and I could just stand here and look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's this chick popping out ping balls from her pop.
The shit they say in this show, man.
I know that's not exactly how she said it, but it's awesome.
I just loved her reaction. Like, well, don't give me that face. At least I'm coming up with something.
Exactly.
At least I'm trying to figure something out.
Just when I think the show can't surprise me,
I know, right?
they go and pull a line like that.
Yep.
So
God.
we had the police come in and check out. They come in with a warrant. They come searching first, asking if they can. Then they come back with a warrant, saying that they got a mysterious tip. From the murder of the policeman, and they direct it at the strongman. Which the strongman goes back and sees this, the flashback scene we see the flashback scene of the strongman watching Jimmy sneak out to go use the bathroom and goes to the strongman's tent, or not tent, but trailer, and plants the badge that we see him put in his pocket at the beginning of the episode because it won't burn. So he tried to plant this in Dell's trailer to frame him. Do you think that Jimmy was the one that called in the police report?
Either Jimmy or Elsa or somebody, one of the two of them.
Yeah.
So at first I
Elsa
thought
made the call and Jimmy did the deed.
At first I thought it was Twisty, and then when I realized the planted, my initial reaction was Twisty because we watched Twisty witness the murder at the end of the first episode. But then when I found out the planted badge was a thing, I was like, okay, that wasn't Twisty. It's somebody here from the carnival. But then, as soon as the badge was brought up, it brought up this whole scenario in my head, and I felt like very deja vu. Like I'd seen this whole kind of scene almost played out identically before, and I can't quite place it. It's really bothering me. I don't know if it was from like an old TV show or a movie. I tried to look it up. I did everything I could. I don't know, but I had this awful sense of deja vu. Do you guys feel like this was a rehashed story from somewhere? Because we know that they do borrow things from all over the place, so...
They do.
Nothing I'm familiar with.
Yeah, but I'm not familiar with anything.
I mean, yeah, it does sound familiar and similar to other...
It was. I'm almost positive it was a police badge, too. Like, the police badge was the only remaining evidence from a missing police officer, and that's how they were pinned down for the murder.
It's possible.
No idea.
So, if anybody watching this podcast out there knows what I'm talking about and could save all this hassle, because this is something that is going to bother me forever, if you can leave a comment down below and let me know. I would very much appreciate that, so I could actually tell myself that I may be able to get some sleep at night, but that's probably still not going to happen. Then we had Bet and Dot, who the Del Toledo is looking to bill as the new headlining act. Mm-hmm. Right, and as we already said, Elsa's not happy with this at all. But then we learn that Dot has this secret ability that she's actually a pretty damn good singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we transition to another song that was not from that time period, which was Fiona Apple's "Criminal."
Yay! She did good.
She did do good, and the backup singing by Bet was not too bad either, despite her butchering. I don't remember what song she was singing in the beginning of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dream a Little Dream? Is that what it was?
I think so.
Yeah.
I do think it was Dream a Little Dream.
I don't remember now. But that was awful. Awful.
Yeah, she was pretty bad.
But does anybody feel like these songs are really out of place?
You know, not being familiar with this particular song, it didn't seem out of place to me because it fit. If I had known it was a song from not that era, maybe I would have thought something was amiss.
I really feel like these are intentionally thrown in the episodes for nothing more than a plug for iTunes, because both of these cover songs are available on iTunes.
Oh.
Jeez, that's a possibility.
I think that is the entire reason they're trying to squeeze more money out of this whole thing, and it really feeling like a cheap plug to me.
I honestly don't know. We'll see how the episodes go if there's more and more cheaply plugged musical numbers.
They're probably, another breadcrumb for us to follow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To connect all the series together.
Yeah, because there is a theory going around, and there are links between each and every season that they are all somehow in the same universe.
Right, and we went into that pretty in-depth last episode, which brings up the fact that Pepper was actually dressed as Pepper this episode. So,
Yep.
So we
I don't think I was on last episode.
No, Rachel was on.
Yeah, see, so that's why I'm like, I don't know.
So, yeah, so Pepper confirmed this is before she went to the asylum. So we're getting that whole story, so... people who were like, I don't know if that's Pepper, just somebody who looks like Pepper. It's Pepper. It's confirmed. They called her Pepper.
Yep.
As soon as I saw her, I was like, that's the same person.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. No, I knew, too. But then people all over the internet was like, just because it looks like it doesn't mean it's her. These characters, they're the same actresses. They all look the same anyway. But they actually physically called her Pepper. You can't deny it now. It's there.
Yeah, that's definite.
Yep. But Dot's song really upstages not only Elsa, who we expected, but also Bet.
Yeah.
And Elsa's kind of manipulating that situation.
Oh my god, I thought she was gonna stab her sister's neck out. Like cut her vocal cords or something so she couldn't sing anymore.
Certainly seemed that way, but we don't really know what happened.
So here's the question. If she does lethal damage to, her sister's circulatory system, either cuts her carotid or something, they're linked at a certain point below, a certain area. Wouldn't that basically kill her too?
Have you, actually listened to Bet talk? She's the very childish, innocent part of them.
Who also murdered their mother.
Exactly. So she wouldn't know any better if she were to stab Dot. She wouldn't know. She'd be like, "Oh, I did bad," and that's probably
I'm a bad girl. Bad girl.
I did bad. That's probably the last thought she'd have.
Yeah. Like, oops, I didn't know that would happen. Sorry.
Yep.
And like she's obviously always been the voice for the two of them. She's always pretty much been the one to have control. Because when they were trying to set the sisters up to do the singing, they had asked, what's the other one's name? Dot?
Yeah.
They had asked if Dot had any kind of special talents, and Bet was like, no, she can't do anything. She's useless. And
she agreed with her, like,
yeah. And Dot's like, yeah, I can't do it. And then they made Dot sing, and everybody was like, hold on, we've been talking to the wrong sister this entire time.
We've been talking to the wrong head.
Yeah.
That's a horrible way to put it.
I'm sorry, but that's what it is.
But it also looks like they're setting a romantic thing up between Dot and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy basically asked her to sing for her.
Yeah.
For him. And she had those googly eyes for him.
Of course.
And you could see that Bet was getting pretty annoyed by it. And we know Bet was the playful one. She liked to play with herself, as was mentioned in the first episode. And Dot wanted nothing to do with it. And now it's looking like Dot is potentially going to have the first boyfriend.
And she's always been the nobody, so...
We kind of know that they kind of have a psychic link. So I'm pretty sure Bet is feeling what Dot is feeling.
Yeah, Bet's looking disgusted by it, though.
Exactly.
But,
and Bet was the one who's like, ooh, when I touched myself, and Dot's like, ew, stop it.
Yeah.
Now it's the other way around.
Yeah. It's interesting. Interesting dynamic there. Can't wait to see how that one plays out. What do you guys think? What do you think's gonna happen with Bet and Dot? Which one is gonna get Jimmy?
Well, if you want to get technical,
both of them.
They both get Jimmy.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Dot's mentality though that gets him, because she kind of falls more into what he typically is seen hanging around with. He's the girl at the counter in the diner. She was very soft-spoken, but when she did speak, she was very forward. And that's Dot. She doesn't say something unless she has to, but when she says it, she's very straightforward about it, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Jimmy's also a really nice guy, considering, you know. So
I don't like Jimmy.
don't like you either.
I didn't say I didn't like you. I said I don't like Jimmy. Jeez.
I like Jimmy. I like the character.
Jimmy's a good character.
He reminds me of Jimmy Olsen.
Who?
From Superman.
Oh.
He's just like this goody two-shoes news reporter, and he reminds me very much of that, and I just want him to go.
Nah.
Need Del Toro-Lito to take him out.
All right, can we talk about Murder Clown and what's behind the mask?
No.
The show is not moving on.
The show's American Horror Story. We're not talking about clowns.
Of what's behind the mask.
There's nothing there.
No, that's it. We're done.
We're done?
No,
okay.
I'm kidding. So, Murder Clown. Twisty.
Oh my god. Like,
first of all, before we go into that part, I want to know, why did Twisty not kill Dandy or his mother?
All right, I know exactly why.
Okay.
She pulled up alongside him, right? He's walking down the road, bag, severed head, obviously, in this bag. And she's like, oh, excuse me, my son has been so bored. I'll pay... Yeah, it's boring, both. I'll pay you handsomely if you just come perform for him and cheer him up. And then it shows his face. You saw, like, if you paid attention to his face, it was like...
Glimmer. His eyes
a glimmer.
Red.
His eye, he was happy. There was, his eyebrows were up. You could tell he was tearing up like, I'm so fucking happy.
I get to play with somebody?
Like, and I've been talking, with Omi about this. He just wants to entertain people. That's his only thing. He just wants to be loved. He wants to make people happy.
He wants to hear laughter that's directed towards him.
And when it goes wrong, that's when things get stabby.
That's when the switch is flipped, and he's like, "You're done."
No. Yeah, it's you switch the flip.
I mean, I guess I can kind of see that because we see him also trying to play with the kids.
Yeah.
He's got the little wind-up toy from the very beginning of the episode, and he winds it up and he starts walking it over to the kids, and
he's like
with a nail and a board to the head.
To the face.
Yeah.
Which knocks loose his mask, and underneath the mask is horror!
It's nothing. There's nothing.
It's a big,
there.
gaping, rotting hole looking like it's filled with maggots or something. I don't even know.
I got a good look at it. He had his jaw ripped off, and the flesh is just ribbons underneath it, and part of his tongue is missing.
It's so amazingly creepy, and it's just beautiful. I love it.
It's like he got bit by a bear, and it ripped his jaw off, or something.
So, basically what you're telling me is he's kind of like the Green Goblin from the original Spider-Man movie. He's pretty fucking scary with the mask on, but he's even scarier with it off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, how he has the mask here, it's his face, and then he's got the rest of it up top. Remember, if you pay attention to the opening sequence, there's a clown wind-up with his brain exposed. I'm thinking that's what's under the rest of his mask on his head. His skull is missing.
That'd be awesome.
Why are you making a surprise face? I told you this right after the episode earlier.
You know what?
Today.
It didn't click.
Yeah, you didn't pay attention.
It didn't resonate.
I wasn't listening to your words. I'm sorry.
No, but it's because in the opening, there is a clown, one of the wooden clown mannequins, and it's missing, its brain is exposed. And Twisty is wearing the mask, covers the whole dome of his skull.
I would be really happy if that was the case, because I like gory things.
The cap that he's wearing looks like human flesh. It doesn't look like it is part of a mask. It looks like leather. Flesh.
No, it's a scalp.
Maybe it's someone's scalp, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else's scalp.
Yeah.
But I really think he's missing the dome of his skull and his brain is exposed.
This clown's
in which case it would be really easy to kill him. Just poke him with your finger.
Well, the good news is, episode 5, we're going to be getting Twisty's backstory.
Yay!
Good. I want it. I need to know.
I love Twisty.
I do. I love him. I love his character.
He tries my ability to watch this show without freaking out because of my thing with clowns. I'm not terrified of them, but there's something there.
when I first saw Twisty, I was like, and now I'm like, oh.
You're oddly fascinated.
I feel bad for him because he just wants to make people happy.
Before I knew he was killing people, I still called him Murder Clown.
Well, he looked like he murdered people.
Yes, he looked like Murder Clown.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Dandy, oh god, fuck that kid.
But were you guys expecting Twisty to be more horrifying under the mask?
I kind of expected something.
Yeah.
I
He
expected...
doesn't wear a full mask. I mean, he had the top part, he had the but why?
I don't think the top part is part of the mask. I don't think it is.
It's part of his costume.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's part of his...
It is a mask. Because, if it weren't...
It originally looked like, when I initially saw it in the first episode, that it was all one mask. Like, the head, the mouth, and the eyes, like, right around that area was ripped off of it. And he was just wearing the top part and the mask part. But now, the way that I got to look at it, it looks like it is the scalp of somebody, because there was red, like, blood trimmed all around the entire cap of him. And the mask itself doesn't go around the back. The mask just goes up to the front, and it's got these strings that, it's gripped up to the top of the skull cap that whatever he's wearing. So I was under the wrong impression the whole time, thinking that this was originally one piece of a clown mask that was ripped in half, and it's clearly not the case. So
I mean, when a person first looks at him, it looks like a mask. So yes, I know we're pretty positive it's someone's scalp, but for just because he's wearing the two pieces together, for the sake of my sanity, I'm just gonna call it a mask because I don't want to go hit the scalp and the mouthpiece because that's too much freaking effort for me. Okay.
It's all one big piece now. Deal with it.
Deal with it.
Deal with it.
I'm seeing the original concept images for Twisty, and he has a jaw. Like, he actually has a chin in the original concept, pictures.
Well, I like this concept better.
yes,
This is way better. Yeah.
this concept is much freakier. But yeah, I'm curious how he lost his jaw. I'm sure we'll see that in his backstory. And he's probably a really lovable clown in his backstory.
Maybe initially.
I hate my life.
Why?
Her camera went away.
I disconnected completely again.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, he's probably this lovable, heartwarming clown, and something treacherous happens. Yeah.
He just wants a friend. It's like Pennywise from It.
Yeah, exactly. So now that we've had a little more time to spend with Twisty, which clown do you think is more frightening, Pennywise or Twisty?
Neither of them.
Twisty. I don't know.
Neither of them?
I honestly don't know.
I love Twisty. I think Twisty is an amazing. I'm a big horror person, though. So, asking me which one is more terrifying.
Okay, so then I'm going to ask you this. Which one would you rather go to dinner with?
Twisty.
Pennywise, because I used to... Funny story, my 7-year-old was terrified of him after watching it one time with me, and I actually had it where, for about half a year, anytime he didn't listen, I could... push him near a gutter, and he would freak the fuck out. And anytime he wasn't listening, I could tell him that I was going to call Pennywise, and he'd stop doing whatever he was doing. So Pennywise, because
that is probably the most terrifying way to reprimand your child I've ever heard in my life.
Okay, you got to realize my 7-year-old watches Chucky and Jason on a regular basis. Okay,
yeah, go ahead. Finish.
So I'm gonna say by that method right there that you would rather go to dinner with Pennywise, that Twisty is more frightening for you. So
it's not that he's frightening though. He's not entertaining.
Well, if
he's not as entertaining to me as Pennywise.
If you're more enjoyable out of Pennywise, then Twisty's
I would not have as much fun with Twisty.
But he'll have more fun with you.
Because at least Pennywise would talk to me.
Yeah. So you
can't blame Twisty for that. He doesn't have a freaking jaw.
No, I found the GIF of the scene where they show it zooms in on it. his jaw is missing straight from the hinge where it, meets up. It's gone completely. There's a mangled tongue in there, and he's got 4 teeth left.
Beep, beep.
Excellent. And I know that they had said on the set to keep the kids from being as frightened, even though the kids found Twisty to be hilarious, as they put it. The actor that you could find him eating jelly beans on the set quite often. Nice. They said it's for like a little amusement there. But they try to keep it as light as they can for the kids. So
yeah, because that if a kid's got a complex, if a kid's got a complex about a clown already, that is cementing it for life right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
that would be like taking your kid and pushing it next to a sewer drain and telling them that Pennywise is gonna get him.
All right, look. In all fairness, my son, like, I watch a lot of horror movies. Like, I am a big horror buff. So my son knows that that kind of stuff isn't real. He was just afraid that Pennywise was because I might have told him at one point that he was real.
Bravo. That's no better than me wanting to give my firstborn child a Chucky doll as his first teddy bear. So
okay, my son wants one for Christmas.
Perfect.
And I'm perfectly okay with this. Like, I'm proud. I am like, yes, I will buy you a Chucky doll. That's great. He owns all the Chucky movies. They're over there in his DVD case.
Nice. So, right when these kids get away...
How'd you build a serial killer?
Right when these kids get away from Twisty. Meow.
Oh, hi, kitty.
Yeah, right when they get away from Twisty, all of a sudden Dandy shows up, has been stalking Twisty through the woods, followed him back to his magic school bus, and decides he's going to help Twisty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just looks at him and he says...
I don't have much of a say.
We're going to have to work on... You're going to have to work on confinement if we're going to have any fun here. That's okay. My cat's distracting me too. She's asleep in a box being adorable.
Mine doesn't do that. She just gets in my face. Like, hi, you're going to pay attention to me now.
Oh, no, she will do that if she was awake, but she's not awake. You'd see Shark Cat Tail just go... on either of our screens. Anyway, it's like we're going to have to work on containment if you're going to have any fun. And Twisty just looks at him, and, it doesn't grunt, doesn't make a move, and you could just tell his brain processes... All right, you're cool.
Kid.
Like, I like you, kid.
I like you, kid.
You're gonna help me? Yay!
I have a friend.
That's all he wants. I'm telling you, that's all he wants. He just wants a friend.
He's just staring at him like, you have a weird mother, and you have a weird mother, a fucked up personality, and an even more fucked up name, but I like you, kid. Get the fuck in here.
Oh, you brought back my toys. Yay, we're friends.
That goes to bring me to the question, who or where is Dandy's father?
He's Twisty.
Oh my god, can you imagine if it actually was that case?
I call that shit.
You know what? We've pulled shit out of the sky before and it's worked. So you know what? I'm accepting that. And you know what? Dads and us, when it comes to speculating, it's true. Always.
No, I'm going to have to rebuttal that because the mother did not recognize him.
It doesn't matter. Maybe he went missing and turned into the clown. Have you never... There is a...
If Mike came to my door dressed as a clown, I would know it's Mike.
All right.
If I came to your door 20 years from now, completely deranged and dressed as that clown, missing my lower jaw, would you know it's me?
Yes.
No, you wouldn't. There is a horror movie.
Do you want to try it?
There is a movie that... There's a clown, and it's like a rabid... infected clown, and if it bites you, you turn into a clown. You kill.
Yes, I know what this movie is.
Yes, and they look completely different than what they look like as a normal person. I mean, their face starts to go white, and then they get the makeup and stuff.
We're not talking about mutated, infected zombies.
You don't know that. This is American Horror Story, fucker.
I'm talking about if Mike walked in my door dressed as a clown.
I'm gonna say this. 20 years from now, I still want Mike in one piece and not a fucking clown.
This is why you don't let me co-host shows. I talk about Dean in short shorts and rabbit clowns.
So before I wrap this up, I have to ask you guys about poor Meep.
Okay.
I hated the sound he was making in the jail
That
cell.
pissed me off.
Oh.
Do you think he deserved it?
No. I mean, yes,
he goes
he
around
ripped
killing
chickens.
birds.
Yeah.
Birds heads up.
So cute.
But that's the thing. That's his thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing
That's
he
his
was.
thing?
That's his thing.
That's not a
You know
good
what? There was a
reason.
chicken once that lived for 18 months without its head, okay? It's fine. It's cool. It's okay.
There you go.
What is wrong with you freaks?
We're friends with you.
No, see, that's the only thing that that Meep did wrong was, I mean, back then, obviously it wasn't wrong. It was just part of the show. But, now people would be, like, on his ass about it.
Mike is starting to look like Twisty down there. He's like, half his face is missing.
Sorry.
But, no, but they throw him in there, and then they're like, oh, you're the big murderer. So they beat the shit out of him and kill him. It's, that doesn't happen. No, stop it.
Scary or Die, I think, is the movie.
Actually, I
Basically,
think that is it.
A guy has been bitten by a clown, and he starts turning slowly but surely into a monster.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I had to look that up. I'm sorry, because it was.
Because you knew what I was talking
We're
about.
not talking about clowns anymore.
We don't care what you're talking about,
we're
Dom.
talking about Mr. Peep.
We don't care what you're talking
Meep.
about. We're talking
I
about
know we're
clowns.
talking about Meep, and this scene pissed me off so much that
We're not talking
Meep
about it.
is, a dwarf, whatever, freak thrown in jail with a bunch of hardened criminals who decide, oh, you're the big bad murderer. Like, come on, anybody with a moniker of common sense or logic would realize that this Meep, this thing, could not have killed that many people so efficiently.
that and the cops probably should have had a little bit more logic instead of throwing him in a cell with all the other
cops
criminals.
No, the cops did it intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Wasn't it the cops that dropped him back off, but they were in a pickup truck this time?
That was one of the detectives. They showed his face clearly, who threw Meep's body out in the sack.
Yeah.
The cops did it intentionally, knowing that that would happen.
Are they trying to rile up the freaks? Is that their intention?
It's
think
the
so.
South in
Well,
the
because-
50s.
Let's
This is
see.
when I'm. Excuse me for being, politically incorrect. This used to happen to black people in that day and age in the South. So
It's not being
happening
politically incorrect. That is.
I'm being historically accurate.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. African Americans, that would happen. All of a sudden, someone, a pickup truck would pull up, they'd throw a sack out, and you'd open it, and there'd be the body of a loved one beaten and dead.
Yeah, it's very, very tragic.
So that's exactly what happened here. So it's not a stretch for the imagination, and it pisses me off.
The thing is
I'm good.
that you good?
I'm good. Look,
Okay.
anger management technique right now. I'm good.
I can do that
Strava.
too. Okay, the thing is that, and you can look at this even now in our society, is that people who look different, people who have, one leg, or they have some kind of physical obstructed, blah, blah, blah. Like anybody who's got anything, they're malformed, or they're missing a leg or an arm, or these kids who are or born with that cleft thing,
cleft out.
they get automatically, without any questions, they get pushed to the side and judged because of that, and right now this town has some serial killing clown running around killing everybody, and the sheriffs are sitting here like, hey, we can peg this on the freaks and get rid of the freaks from our town so they're not giving us a bad name, and we'll get more customers and more visitors. It's no different than what people do these days.
Yeah, to a degree, I guess. It depends on the individual, I think. we had a guy at work who has a prosthetic leg.
Mm-hmm.
Did not know he had a prosthetic leg until fairly recently. Guy's been working there for quite some time. And when we found out, it was more of a respect kind of thing.
Yeah.
That, damn, you were doing your job this whole time and nobody knew?
It's not so much of a problem these days. I mean, it's more, I want to say now these days, it's more of a physical deformity that makes people kind of turn up their nose at you, like the kids with the cleft palate and stuff like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's moms on YouTube that have kids that are born without eyes or things like that, and they keep them, and they talk about all the time about how people will ask them, why didn't you get rid of it? Why didn't you kill it knowing that it was like this? You know, things like that. And it's not so much of a problem now as it used to be, but it's still a pretty big problem. It just, as you said, depends on the people.
Right.
Yeah.
Still pissed me off.
Yeah.
It is rather unfortunate. Rest in peace, Meep. You will be missed.
Rest in peace.
Yep.
They're fixing Murder Row. Just letting you know. Sorry.
You guys have anything else you want to touch on for this episode before we move on to next week?
Nope.
No, I'm good.
Other than, knowing Dandy's helping out and saw a glimpse of a preview and Dandy's in a clown suit now.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Twisty and Twisty Jr. That's why I said it's his dad.
Be
Oh,
interesting.
God.
I don't think it is, but
His dad.
we'll see.
Nope.
We'll see. I can't wait till it's revealed and I'm able to call you wrong. Anyway, next week's episode 3 is called Edward Mordrake, Part 1. The freaks refuse to perform on Halloween due to an old carny superstition. So, yep, in fact, it is Halloween next episode. Jimmy is smitten by a woman claiming to be a fortune teller.
We know who that is.
Yes.
Emma Roberts.
Insert Emma Roberts. Can't wait. And Ethel receives life-changing news.
Ethel. Is that Dandy's mom? Or am I thinking
Ethel is Jimmy's mother.
Oh, she's the bearded mom.
Lady.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha.
Ethel.
Ethel.
Yes.
Hi, Ethel.
Ethel.
Where's
I keep
Lucy?
thinking Ethel Mertz every time.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Where's Lucy?
Baba Lou. So, Edward Mordrake, I had to look this up, was given to a 19th century heir. It was a English peerage who is said to have suffered from a form of dysbrosis. Dysbrosis, whatever the hell it's called.
Two faces.
Yeah, he had a face on the back of his head. It was an extra face. And it was said that it could neither speak out loud, nor eat. However, it was described as being able to laugh and cry.
Ooh, that's creepy.
And Edward reportedly begged doctors to have his demon face removed, claiming that it whispered to him at night. But no doctor would attempt to remove it, and he committed suicide at 23 years old. So, this seems like the perfect character to introduce to our freak show.
Yep.
So, we've seen cases like this before. We saw this in Coven specifically, where what was the
Papatunde.
No, not Coven. I meant Asylum.
Oh.
We saw this in Asylum where they went back and retrofitted a character in. Who was it? The girl with the diary. What was her name?
Oh, right. I was thinking you were talking about like supernatural.
Anne Frank.
elements.
Is that who it was?
Yeah, Anne Frank.
Yeah, they had Anne Frank come in and brought her as a character that existed on the show, and claimed to be the character, and they said that she was nuts and all that. So it seems like this one they're gonna bring this character in. Like I said, it seems like a perfect fit. So
They gave it sort of a supernatural feeling to it, like there's some kind of carny superstition about performing on Halloween. It's like, oh, he's real. He's very real. And then all of a sudden it shows this weird guy in, a tux and a top hat walking in looking all creepy.
Yeah.
And he kind of had a very,
Yeah.
vibe
Thing
to him.
is, though, from the glimpse I got, he looked pretty smashing.
All right, so fine. So he was a hot.
Doesn't matter.
Did Mike just call a dude hot?
He did.
I may have.
He did.
Interesting. Yeah, so we do know that this will be this episode, and immediately following, the following week is part 2, portrayed by Wes Bentley. So, should be rather interesting. I can't wait to see what they do with the character.
Click, 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 click,
Yeah.
click,
Click, click, click, click, click, click, click.
Clicking everything. I'm trying to get a picture of the guy.
Said he was in the Hunger Games. Oh, him.
Oh, look at him. I was right.
I know this guy's face.
I wasn't wrong by saying smashing.
I just want to get this picture out there. This is internet. This is the guy that Mike thinks is hot.
I didn't say that.
You did.
I said
You did.
it was
No,
a
you did say
hot,
that.
spooky guy. I didn't know it was him.
Yeah, no, you said he was hot. So
Yeah, you said he was hot. It doesn't matter if you knew it was him or not. You already said it.
Oh, he's kind of kind of trying for the Ian Somerhalder look, and I don't like it.
This guy's probably older than Ian, so I guess Ian would be copying him, wouldn't it?
No.
God.
I admit Damon is a handsome man. I don't know about this guy. I'm allowed man crushes.
Heather,
Fuck you all.
save me. Where can the people find you?
Twitter. Larsria, OLARIS_RHEA. And I'm not saving you.
Omikins, where can the people find you?
They can also find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
Mike, where can the people find your man crush?
They can find him Thursday nights on the CW's hit drama The Vampire Diaries.
I'm done. I quit.
You asked where they could find him. And I told you. Alright, if you want the other one, it can be Monday
you're done.
nights on
You're done.
CW's
You're done.
hit
You
show,
can find
The
me
Originals.
down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM. You can find us all on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, G+, and right here on YouTube/ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows.
I'm never gonna be able to watch Vampire Diaries the same.
Yes.
Never.
We're done. We're done.
Done.
It's
Can't
done.
turn it off. Turn
It's
it off.
done. Go make
Elijah.
pancakes.
Elijah's my other crush.
Turn
Mike,
it off, Dom.
go make pancakes.
No.
Go make pancakes.
I had pancakes for breakfast this morning. I don't want them again.
Don't make anything but pancakes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm done.
Bye.
I'm done. That's it. I'm out.